All right, so didn't have a Raw review, but there was some things I liked, and we're not gonna go into everything and stuff like that. Like I said, that's a review. I'm just really just gonna do my bullet points basically from that time. Cause I was like, there was a whole bunch of things I liked that I just wasn't able to get to. So with that being said, I really am enjoying the Damian Priest Gunther thing. I thought it was the right idea to basically Gunther basically try to come out apologize, and guess what? We all know it's too late to apologize. And Priest just smacked them all up. And I like the fact that they just went into a brawl, that they didn't talk. I was like, there was no need for talking. That was sort of that promo last week. That pretty much here, it's just like full on slugfest, because I think, especially with Priest, I was like, that gets the point across. People are really behind Priest as well. That I think that this works, and also you don't really see Gunther also in a brawl type of circumstance. So to have somebody pretty much, because they're really like about the same height and all that other stuff, that it's a more even match in a way that's like, it would make sense that it's like, oh, he just not going to just dump Priest. And so I like that they brawled from the beginning to the end. It was sort of been cool. They sort of did like the whole show, but I think that's a good way to set it up and to get people behind this whole match, which I was like, I don't think there's going to be any really interference at all. I think there's going to be really the first match of Priest's tenure that there's going to be no interference, and he's going to beat Gunther. I was like, if you haven't seen my other video, I basically said that Damian Priest should beat Gunther, and my mind's not going to change when I do my picks later on next week. I was like, also, I like the setup that they're doing with Bron and Ilja. I was like, while Ilja hadn't gotten a win on Bron, I believe Bron had basically beat him, DQ'd him, or something like that in all types of stages. I like the fact that, one, this seemed like something that maybe is going to be our new rivalry of the young stars. I was like, Ilja and Bron are both, they're both being like pushed really hard here. Even though Ilja at the time he was on a win streak, he hadn't really been there. But I was like, it's not like he's been losing. He just sort of just been foiled by Bron every time. But I think this is good to have these two like linked together in some form of way. And also right now, I like the story of, it seems like with Ilja, like he loses to Bron, but it also seems like his intensity doesn't outmatch his Bron's, or that his intensity is too much, and it's not the right blend to match Bron and what he's doing. Cause I was like, I wouldn't say Bron is not intensity, but I want to say a little bit of like, don't give a fuck kind of deal or whatever. And he just knocked out Ilja, and I was like, cool, that's a safe way, even though people sort of booed about it. But I think it's a good way to keep it safe. And when Bron wins, Ilja's right there as well too. And to be honest, they should sort of kind of like exchange stuff back to back. That's just me though. I also liked the fact that Otis did fight back against Chad Gable. I think that's something that's been missing in their little like budding stuff that they're doing, just because we did have, like, everybody was really hyped on Otis, and then he sort of did the mature thing where he was like, I'm not gonna fight you, I'm just gonna leave. Cool, whatever. But I think with that, it does sort of simmer down the feeling that everybody had. So I think here, when he started to fight back against the Creeds and against Chad, I do think that we're going to probably get an Otis Chad match like a little bit later on or whatnot. But I think that it's really good to at least show that, hey, sometimes, yes, you can walk away, but sometimes you gotta confront and just sort of beat somebody's ass if they just are doing too much to you and stuff like that. I think that's a little bit of the story in that as well too. And yet along with the Wyatt 6 popping out, I thought it was sort of good. I was like, we're still going to have to see how that goes down with Uncle Howdy, with Bo, because it's like he wasn't full on. It wasn't no Fiend get up. It was him in the mask. So we still got to see how that's sort of going to work when it comes to actually in ring stuff. But hey, it's still good. It still makes sense of what they're doing and Chad and how he's being disrespectful to people, and the Wyatts ain't liking that. So I'm down with that as well too. The video wasn't really nothing there with Nikki Cross character. I don't know that it's really about. I mean, obviously about design, but I was like, I wonder if she's just not gonna have any story necessarily with hers or whatever, especially because this has sort of been her thing, where she's sort of been Nikki Cross or Sanity or whatever like that. That is just her thing. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes, because she didn't get nothing but basically a bunch of. I thought it was a Conjuring, basically. I was like, I do like the stable of Sonya, Shayna, and Zoe. They're going to have to get a damn name, because I'm not about to call them by their government this whole damn time. They got two full. They all three of them got two damn full names. I'm not doing it. And I was like, I don't know if I can repeat what everybody's calling them online, because it's a lot. But it's different ones. They're all funny. But I do think that while they're not getting, I was like, it's going to be a minute, but I think this is a stable that can work. I just don't know if it's working with Lyra and the party girls. I do think Zelina, it can work, because she got some talking to her that the other ones don't, and they gave her the win. Awesome. I think that's also pretty cool. So, and I'm saving them for last. I do like the Jey Sami beating Judgment Day, because I think it sets up their tag team again. I don't know if that's going connection with the fact that Sami losing the championship, that he has something to fall back into. I don't know how long it's going to prolong with this story. They've already sort of did a lot of Judgment Day with Sami and Jey before, about a year or so ago. So I was like, but it does feel a lot different this time around. But I like that that's there, because there's no telling where that's going to go. And it's like, everybody has this whole bloodline versus bloodline thing that they're thinking that's going to happen. I will say that with Sami and Jey having the tag team title and being on board, it's a lot easier to incorporate them into something later down the road if they're already together, if everybody gets their whole idea of Sami being the extra person. If not, hey, it's also really just a cool thing to do, because we've seen what Jey does when he has a tag team that's not his brother. Or you can make a storyline of it that, hey, they're not trying to be regulated to tag teams, or Jey can only win the tag team championship. I think there's a lot of different places to go with it. And we don't know the chaos that's going to come out of Judgment Day either. Which, last but not least, the Judgment Day thing of Rhea, Dom, Liv put on a hell of a performance, crying like that, because while there were no tears, just the quivering and all that other stuff was felt in a way. I was like, Dom getting his face licked was like the first time that, to be honest, that Rhea has showed anything towards Dom at all, which, I think is a good sort of added piece to the story, because really Rhea has not really shown any physical affection to Dom or whatever. And Dom, I think, doing that, it's like, hey, we've all sort of been in a situation where basically you gotta, happy. I mean, they're not white, but you get what I'm saying. To have a happy life, sometimes you gotta say, "Shoo, be gone, get out of here, heathen." Yes, I have mine here. You vacate the premises, and that's what pretty much Dom did in his own way. But yeah, no, the story is still fun. Story is still kicking up. And I like there was an added wrench to it, just because while we still don't know, is he going to cost Rhea a chance by helping Liv purposely or an accident? It does set up that it's there to swerve. Or it is also set up that there's a prolonged thing to where maybe, say Rhea doesn't win, but everything's fine with Dom and them for something later to crescendo right after this. So either way, I think it's a good throw off to everybody because we all just sort of all feel like we knew how this was going to go, and it's not. And I was like, it is a nice swerve, even though we know where the ending might be. You still need some different type of chapters. But yeah, I guess that, I mean, it wasn't a review because I was like, I left off a couple things or whatever. I didn't really care too much about the Seth Rollins thing or the Alpha Academy stuff. And yeah, other than that, I was like, that's just me with Raw. But anyway, see y'all next. Peace.